Welcome to the Wargame Red Dragon Microdeck Tournament for the Red Star Vanguard Gaming Discord server. It is the summer of 2023, and I'm your host today, Commander Red. With me today is my co-host, Soviet Waver. Today we have Tiger Muskies,
Hello.
consisting of Troutmaster, Axiom, and Gotstamp, versus Red Storm with Navy Tuna, Sean, and Inverted Reflexes. A special note today is that the Tiger Muskies have Gotstam, who is a stand-in as an extra today. So for the most astute among you, Gotstam is a volunteer tournament extra who fills in for teams who are missing a third to schedule with on short notice. That is why you might see Gotstam playing here on behalf of Tiger Muskies this fight. So, Soviet Waver, would you like to lead us off today and explain some of the units and assumptions of the game plan in this fight for both teams?
All right. So, looking at this, and I'm seeing what looks to be a Dutch army of some description, probably mechanized or support. And we've got Commonwealth or British armored. Again, love to see those big, heavy Challenger tanks. And we've got South Africa, which is probably motorized or airborne. Got that Rui Volk ready here to wreck some stuff.
Well, we see the Ruby Cat, so I think that's a motorized, Chief.
Well, we got the Ruri cat. All right. So we got a bunch of wheelie boys, which of course is what South Africa specializes in, is
Absolutely,
wheels.
absolutely. And we see some really Volks up in the air too. These got these four Mistrals and eight anti-tank missiles that fire out at 2,000-meter range. Really accurate too.
Yeah.
Nothing to
Oh yeah.
scoff at.
Yeah. Ruri Volk is a pretty nasty machine, and I'm looking forward to seeing it do some work. Even though I think it's pretty funny that the Red Storm is playing Blue 4.
Interesting, right? And then
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we've got a couple of Stormers here as well, escorting Sean's British armor here. He's got a solid platoon here of two Challenger 1 Mark 3s and two Challenger 1 Mark 1s.
Yeah, that's some pretty hit serious heavy firepower. We just saw them last game, and they were very difficult to deal with. And I think with the Stormers coming in to provide support, that'll really limit the advantage that Red 4 tanks have, and that those Stormers will be outranging the gun-launched ATGMs that Soviet tanks are infamous for.
Well, not necessarily. The missile range on the Stormer is 2625. Not much different than a TOW. Some Soviet
All
anti-tank missiles can fire out at 2,000 meters.
right, all right. Well, and then when we're going over to Red 4, it looks like GOTS is running the same Soviet support deck. Got those cheap but reasonably well armored T-72As leading the way, and got some Strela 10Ms, recon, and a bunch of light infantry and helicopters.
Yeah, uh,
Thinking he's
it looks like Trout's pulling the Mi-25s while Gotts is pulling Mi-24Ds. Which, if I'm,
yeah, it looks
if,
like
which I'm assuming by based on that we know that Gotsdam is playing the same deck. These are probably the Gornoshoki 90s we saw in the last match.
yeah, looks like, and it looks like those Gorno 90s are going to be supplemented by a very large number of. It looks like Eastern Bloc airborne forces, although again it could be motorized. Lots and lots of infantry and Mi-25s and Salamandras, a pretty solid recon helicopter choice.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely.
and then the last force we're seeing today is Axiom, who is bringing Soviet armored, and they got pretty interesting tank setup here. They've got T-64Bs and T-80As and T-72 OBR 1989s. A nice mix of medium, heavy, and super heavy tanks, and all of them are packing those gun launched ATGMs.
Indeed. I think it's definitely going to be something that'll be rough for the Stormers to have to cope with. Not to mention, there's an additional BMP-3 over here. And in case if anybody was needing to notice, Axiom does have a tour system out here. So that should be
Oh yeah,
reasonably equally concerning for the Ruivelk as well.
the Tor is a pretty serious heavy-duty AA system, and it's not something you want to be running your helicopters into.
No, no, it'll make short work of them real quick.
Yeah. Especially when you got those Blue 4 helicopters, they're not quite as tanky as the Mi-24s are.
Hmm, indeed. All right. I think with all that said, do we have anything else left for commentary before we get started?
I don't know, no. The only thing I noticed was I think Trout is doing an interesting move here, pulling both flanks simultaneously. I mean, he's got the speed to do it, but you never know if human attention spans just can't cover it.
You know what's really interesting though? I was just kind of noticing. Um,
Yeah.
the Ruivelk on the opposite team has similar performance to the DHS Mi-24P that the East Germans have with Eastern Bloc, bringing in that 26, 25-meter range with the air-to-air missile, and the
Hmm.
Kokon M missile coming with that 20-meter range slap. And
Yeah, that's
maybe not the same accuracy though, but I think that doesn't matter so much because the DHS Mi-24P with 2 hits would kill a Ruivelk.
oh yeah. Yeah. It's going to be an interesting matchup, and maybe we'll see some helicopter slap fights on that flank.
Oh, you know it. I'm looking forward to it. Ah, all right. Then I think we're ready.
All right.
All right. 3, 2, 1, and play.
All right. We're playing it now.
All right. And they're off.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing the fairly typical deployment here, trying to cap one of the cities in Echo. Oh, and it looks like
Oh, we got some aircraft up and
Tuna's
going.
acting in combat air patrol.
Yep, we got a Cheetah C and a Carter. Now these planes
They're-
individually don't have a lot of missiles, but for each card that you get at least 4 planes per card.
they- and they might not carry a lot of missiles, but they carry pretty good missiles. If I remember, the Darter's like 70% accuracy. And here comes a Cheetah D to provide C. Looks like they're going to be slapping down those bucks. Ooh, you hate to see it.
Ooh. But the MiG-29 is out here trying to get some payback.
Let's see if they make it.
Nope, misses it.
Oh, and
And here comes the
Carver and the Cheetah are coming to slap. And, oh,
Successful air sweep by Navy Tuna in the beginning of the match, knocking out a MiG-29 from Poland.
yeah, knocking out the MiG-29 and getting that seaplane out scot-free. That being said, it looks like Gott's got some Gornos landed in a city in Echo, and wasn't harassed too much. So that MiG-29 did a little bit of work, even if it's slim, slim consolation.
Oh yeah. Now we see some helicopters here now being landed by Trout, while the Ruivelk is under fire. Now we've seen in the last match what happens to helicopters that try to land while
And it just
under
happened
fire.
here. It looks
But
like
we got
some
FJB touching down.
LSTR-90s are getting dropped.
Oh yes.
And slapped.
You see that?
And the
You
Puskamish.
hear that? It's the end of the sound of that Ruivelk making that awful noise.
But there's another one coming in.
Oh
And
god.
it just slapped down a couple more Hinds. But the Pruskamichi and the LSTR 40 have gotten to cover, so they'll be able to do a little bit of damage.
And the Ruivelk getting stunned out by the chain guns on the Mi-24Ds. While the
I
Buffalo...
think they ran out of missiles.
Oh, and SASF came in.
Oh man. There's an awful lot of those anti-tank, anti-air special forces running around this match.
Oh yeah, SASF 90, LSTR 40, FJB. What a wild ride. And then let's see on the other side of the map, we got
Looks like,
Sean engaging some T-80As from Axiom with a Challenger 1 Mark III. Ooh, side shot.
ooh, big hit. Oof.
Second side shot.
Oh, both of them are pretty badly damaged, and now they can probably move right in without worrying about too much of counterfire. But
But a
looks
BMP3
like
has
it's the
something to
end of
say.
the breeze.
A missile is a missile. And that's what
Uh,
that lone BMP3 seems to have kept Sean from really pushing that initiative against the other T-80, allowing it to pull back successfully. But T-80 comes
but
in,
CDD's coming in.
but
Oh, not quite getting it.
too weak. The bombs were just too weak to deal with a BMP3. You see, this is what I mean about the Cheetah D, not necessarily being the S tier plane everybody might hope it would be. It's good at what it does, and that's sort of like a jack of all trades. But that doesn't mean it's the best plane.
I prefer the Cheetah C myself, but
Yeah, yeah.
it looks like we got a Recon T-55 from GOTS, making some interesting plays coming out of Delta. I don't know if this is a misclick or an old order, but they're going to get clapped. And there it goes.
Oh my.
Alright. Looks like things have settled down. I'm kind of surprised that Red Storm hasn't put anything in Echo. They just sort of left that to the red team here to just set up some Gorno 90s and chill, I guess. Well, we got a
Well,
bunch of Cheetah Ds bombing some empty fields. Oh, and the Tor is about to punish them for doing that.
looks like Sean's calling out another airstrike on that lone BMP3.
Looks like.
BMP3's over here saying like, "Go on, I'm not scared. You can't kill me with
I
those
mean,
10 HE bombs."
I wouldn't be too scared either if there was a Tor and a Strela 10M backing me up.
Indeed. Well, so it looks like we've got a really solid push coming in from Troutmaster, going in towards Hotel, with a Prez Kamichi and LSTR 40. And some Huzarin down on the floor, just on the foot of that hill.
It's a light push, but it'll be a pretty decent probing attack here, and I mean, they're not likely to clear out that city, but you never know, especially with those T-72As providing fire support.
Rippling getting mulched by T-72A from GOTS, just destroying it.
Oh, man. And those Super Dragons are taken out.
Yeah, this is just rude bullying. It's not even a BMPT. It's not even an IFV. It's just a lone T-72.
And not even a high tier one either.
No. Oh, we got some artillery shells landing on that BMP3 back in Delta. Looks like
They really want to clear that one BMP.
yeah, looks like
And then a side shot cleared out that T-72 OBR 1989 right next to it. Oh, that's gotta hurt.
ooh, missed that. That's rough.
Yeah. That's a pretty meaty asset to just lose to a side shot, but
Yeah, this is one of those things where you gotta pay attention of your spawn routes, because Bravo is a spawn route, Delta is a spawn route, and if you're trying to call something on a certain part of the map, but not really sure where it's coming in from, you might want to keep your tabs on your expensive assets, if nothing else.
yeah. It looks like the Red Storm is they have some pretty strong positions, but they're losing points, and I'm seeing down in Juliet they have a CV just sitting here.
We have another Cheetah D run coming in, just kind of bullying some of these T-72As from GOTS.
Inflicted some damage, but nothing too severe. And
Oh, we got some action in
some more-
Foxtrot. Prez Kenichi engaging SASF with the sniper rifles and AKs.
And the 264 is providing fire support here. But Rory Cat has got something to say about that, and those Rory Cat cannons can do a lot of work if they're left unchallenged.
Bam.
Oh, and they're
But that
might
was
have been too late for the SASF 90, but
well, that was a T-72B for an SASF 90 right there. On points,
yeah, I mean,
on points, Axiom loses that. But on unit availability, that was Navy losing that.
yeah, and an armor deck losing a medium tank is not a terrible loss, but oof.
But losing special
Special
forces,
forces can suck.
absolutely.
That looks like that's an LSTR 40 moving back through that jungle. Another Cheetah D run coming in. Oh man, I'm wondering if anyone's going to pack some heavy SAMs to actually punish these guys, since they've been getting away with a lot of strikes.
You know, Gotts is, I believe, got some bucks, but he definitely needs to organize them a little bit if he wants to try stop these harassments in a Delta Foxtrot.
It looks like they're calling in more Arty to kill that one BMP3.
The
Oh man.
BMP3 that tanked all of the arsenal of Blue 4. Christ.
Oh, looks like some MiG-29s are coming in to punish those cheetahs, but
But
not quite in time. Huh?
just maiming it and sending it back to go lick its wounds. Carver's trying to come
And they're
back,
gonna
but just not able to close that distance comfortably and pulling back.
You know, with the amount of ASFs I've been seeing, I'm kind of surprised that nobody's pulling a combat air patrol. That would really help people out right now.
Yeah, immensely. So we're seeing some blind runs into the town of Foxtrot, and just a little bit outside of it, but not really hitting anything.
And they are making those LSTRs use their ammo, but
Well, that and Navy's continuing these blind runs, forcing the command in Foxtrot to be a little skittish, moving into another position. I wonder if this is a case of Trout trying to assume that lightning doesn't strike twice, sort of concept.
yep. It's going to be an interesting play, and hopefully they don't get caught out in the open with those Rui Cats and the Caspiers coming along. There's nothing to support them, and there's a bunch of infantry heading right for that command unit.
That is true. It's a good thing it's a shock train command unit. The forward truck is not to be taken lightly.
It is not, but I wouldn't want to be a Burrum truck facing off against a bunch of Buffaloes and Caspiers with Husarin running support. That would be...
But you know, here's the thing, right? If by checking the perspectives of each team, they have no idea the forward truck is there. They just happen to be heading in the right direction.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and here comes a Hyman support.
You got Cheese C inbound?
Oh, here it comes. The fun police are rolling in.
Oh no.
Oh.
And that's
ooh,
a
and there
snipe.
goes that MI-24. And it is unpunished.
No anti-air. The LSTRs are strapped out of missiles.
And the MiG-29s are
Too slow.
flying and just too late.
Yep. Too slow to realize. Too slow to react. Too slow to catch up in time.
So it looks like they're leaving them out of the combat air patrol to dissuade further harassment, which I think is the right move here. Although a Carver's coming in too, and they're backing off. Looks like Fox is making a more generalized push with some helicopter and tank support, Buffaloes as well. And we'll see if they can break through this little foothold that they've got here and establish a strong presence.
T-72B is being engaged by the XTP-1s.
Oh, and that's a nasty helicopter too. There's a MiG-29 9-12A coming in, the thermo bomber. That's a risky move with the enemy infantry that close, but we'll see if it works out for him. Oh, completely missed. Oh, Cheetah C's coming into. Oh, is it going to get intercepted? Oh, 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 so
1
close. And it looks like,
HP.
wow, looks like
Oh,
the South
shit.
African Air Force is invulnerable today. They've really
Trout.
been flying unpunished.
Oh, Trout
Oh,
does the bait and takes out the plane with the anti-air forces.
all right, that's the first loss for the South African Air Corps over here.
We got some artillery shells plopping in, from what I believe is Godstem's missiles. And they're just taking pot shots in the hotel.
Interesting. Looks like there's a bunch of Cheetah Ds. Maybe they're doing blind breath. Looks like that's what it is. And they're escorted by a Carver. I think they're done getting chased away by those MiG-29s. And there goes LSTR-40. Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, looks like the Tor is finally starting to pop off some missiles. Sending
Let's see
one
if they
missile
can
right up the tailpipe with the Carver. Oh, no, and Carver makes it out.
Oh, man. I gotta say, the airplays have been pretty solid this game so far.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it looks like Fox has been mostly seized by Red Storm here. They've got a couple units hiding out in the jungle, but they're basically able to reinforce as they need, and we'll see if they can keep a hold on that long enough to start getting some points built back up.
SASF 90 knocking out that BMP-3 that's heading straight into Foxtrot.
And the fur trooper walking into an ambush. We got some more airplanes coming in. MiG-29s coming to intercept some cheetahs.
The Cheetah D's just going in, taking out the Huzaran and the the command.
I mean, losing a unit of Huzaran is not the worst trade for taking out a unit of fur in this troop, but you just hate to see friendly fire.
Another SASF taken down.
Meanwhile, it looks like there's some light action going on close to Echo with the T-72s fighting some light Dutch tanks. Mostly Leopard 1s. And Aurora Valk is chasing the T-72s back into the forest.
Meanwhile, it looks like Axiom is built up into having a T-72BU just on the east of Delta.
That's an interesting unit. That is a very, very significant asset. And if they support it properly, it can do quite a bit of damage. But those tanks are not invincible.
Most indeed. This might be one of Axiom's kind of trump cards here in this fight. The BU only coming in with 2 tanks and a card might outclass anything Sean has pulled, unless Sean could pull out a Challenger too.
Yeah, that is not a joking asset, and I think it's probably going to be the heaviest tank we see. But as we've seen, those Cheetah Ds are just relentless and hammering everything they don't like until they go away. Well, it looks like the Cheetahs are coming out to play again, but they ran into an air defense and one of them got downed.
Meanwhile, we see the Axiom T-72B firing on some infantry fusiliers against some Gonoshoki.
Yeah.
And the Thermal MiG coming in to fully bully Oh, that is rough.
Oh, and they're burning down that supply truck too. That's gotta be painful.
Well, captured supply truck. Looks like Sean has taken control of the... Yep. Taking control of the Ural and drive straight into the death for
That's just disrespectful.
it.
Look, man, there's a carver coming in. And it's like we're going to chase off that MiG-29. And it is out of here. I have noticed that Gotts is building up a little bit of a helicopter force near Gulf. And that could be an interesting little hit factor if that's played well, because I'm not seeing a ton of air defenses on Red Storm's flanks here.
That is intriguing. That is intriguing.
Alright, things have mostly settled down here, but there's some skirmishing, mostly around Echo right now.
And you know,
And a tit for tat.
and you know, it gets me though. Like, I don't see that other town on the other side of Echo being captured until just now by Inverted. After nearly
Yeah,
20
I
minutes
mean-
into the match.
Normally that whole sector is a bloodbath, but it's been relatively quiet for most of the game so far. Now it looks like they're just starting to move in now, after they've, at least in theory, secured their flanks.
Yeah, it looks like Sean's tank is starting to close up against Sean's tank is close up on Axioms, and we see ourselves having a nice tank battle now.
Oh boy, here it comes. A lot of heavy tanks, and with air support being plentiful, they might be able to be uninterrupted for a little bit, but the Cheetah D's got other plans. Or not. It looks like they're bombing those Gornos. But a Revolk is coming in. They might have something to say about this tank fight. And there's only really a Buck standing in the way. Hey,
Unfortunately, that buck won't be enough to deal with what they need to.
it will not. And it looks like the Revolk is going for the T-72B Object 1989s. An interesting choice, since I would personally go for the BU, knock that thing out right now. But
Well,
maybe they think it's just an easier kill.
no, they don't see the BU firing right now. That's why it's not being fired on. It's currently under stealth.
A lot of South African airplays here. Looks like they're trying to down as many ASFs as they can. Got an interesting air battle, 2 Carvers and 2 MiG-29s, although it looks like the Carvers are getting out of here. But one of them got downed. And that's a pretty nasty fighter plane. And it took quite a bit to crash. Landing outside Echo.
Oh yeah. And we see Axiom starting to repair these tanks and whatnot now. But one supply truck may not just be enough.
It might not, but it's good to see them resupplying their assets, keeping their valuable stuff alive, especially given that there's still challengers on the field.
Absolutely. And looks like Sean's last Challenger 1 Mark III got whittled down to 1 health, and the rest of the platoon was destroyed. That is a rough day for the Challengers.
That is a lot of heavy tanks to lose in one little skirmish. Gotts is building up a really large force of Mi-24s, and I'm curious as to see when they'll be committed. Because we see some north of Echo or west of Echo, and some close to Gulf as well. I'm interested to see what Gotts will be doing with those, because that is a lot of attack helicopter.
And looks like we see Trout pushing in to kill the Uzarin that is hanging out back by Foxtrot.
Yeah, it's a good move. Clear out the flanks so that you can push back in and take back that take back that spawn, no, that command point and start equalizing scores again. And at this point, it looks like Red Storm has burned through most of the lead that their opponents have built in the early game, and so now they need to start considering actually pushing again. Looks like the MI-24s are pushing into golf as well. They found the Commandant, and they are just rocketing those poor guys to hell and back, and they are gone. Then another bunch of MI-24s are coming to clear out the forest ahead of golf. I think this is going to be part of a little micro push to clean that out and put Red Storm back on their toes.
Well, Buffalo's just having a bad day.
Yeah, and it looks like the SASF-90 are out of missiles, so they cannot shoot down those nasty little helicopters.
So it looks like we see some activity in Foxtrot. Trout's pushing up aggressively with Walk Regiment on the other side of Foxtrot all the way into the forest.
Ooh, those are some pretty hardcore infantry there. It looks like they're really making a push through. I think they've had enough of the light assets that were sent by Red Storm to go clear them out, and now they're being punished for not fortifying that zone.
Yeah, looks like the SPW-80s combined with the tanks had managed to wipe out that recap.
Yep, and now the Commandant is basically alone. Looks like they are pulling in units to staunch the bleeding, but at this point, there's a pretty solid force already in Foxtrot,
and there it goes.
Whoa! And they already have command infantry. Trout already has command infantry there for capping it and starting to regain their lead.
And they have no recon that deep in Foxtrot to go find it.
They do not. It looks like Red 4 is pulling ahead again. That being said, it looks like Echo has been cleared out by the Red Storm here. They've only got a Gorno and a T-72A left. And they have fully fortified their side of Echo now.
Oh, damn.
And looks like the Gorno 90s have set up shop in the buildings in golf.
Just absolutely rude. That was just absolutely rude to the damn transports. Those SASF-90 can't even make it across the damn bridge without getting slapped by a bunch of 26 AP missiles. The Cheetah Ds want to have some retaliation, but it's just not going to be enough. But fortunately, they will get a little bit of retaliation because the MI-24D just flew within their range.
Yeah. I mean, it is interesting to see this tit-for-tat play. It looks like every time one side makes an advance, the other just goes to another flank and pushes there. And Inverted's bringing a bunch of cheetahs. This is good. This is an interesting choice.
On the Navy Tuna. Navy Tuna.
I mean, Navy Tuna's got the SAF-90, but I'm looking at the Cheetah PRTLs here.
Oh,
Dutch.
That's right.
I mean, those autocannons could do some work if they can spot the enemy, but Cheetah D's coming in again to slap those Gornos again.
Bring it down to one person left in the squad. Talk about getting squad wiped.
Well, Soviet Rambo's here to play, I guess.
Oh, looks like we got Outstand making a little push into the forest next to hotel.
That is an interesting move right there. A bunch of T-72As, some light assets, but, you know, should be enough to clear out the Leopards here if they're played well.
Yeah, the leopard ones are, and the stormtrooper just don't seem to be as strong of a choice of resistance when the volume of firepower pours in.
Yeah, yeah.
Inverted, not really seemingly using their attack move order. Seems to be getting murdered until they stop to engage and manually like right click.
Yep. And they've been punished by it because that SASF 90 have been, or not, yeah, I mean, the Stoots Troopin', I'm looking at SASF 90 at one here, but the Stoots Troopin' have been
Oh,
completely.
hold on. We've got some challengers that are trying to pour into Foxtrot and getting bullied by the various amounts of
Ooh,
helicopters and infantry. Forcing
ooh,
Sean to pull back upon realizing that pressing this engagement with just two tanks is not going to be sufficient. But the T-80A has something to say about some of these other infantry, like the Casper K cars.
yep. I mean, it's going to be tough taking it back because they merely made a concerted push here to secure defensive positions after beating them out here, and it looks like ooh, they've really pushed those Walk Regiment deep. They're close to Juliet at this point.
Oh, definitely. Challenger 1 Mark 1s engaging T-64s and T-80As, but
Looks
without...
like T-64 couldn't take it.
Yeah, definitely not. It's completely outclassed.
But without recon, they can't really engage anything that isn't sitting at the edge of the forest here.
Now, we know Axiom has some BR-1Ks, but I guess he felt that it won't be as useful on this front because it's all relatively close quarter.
Yep. And the Proskamichi are seemingly doing a pretty good job of spotting here. Looks like some Rui cats are going to be pulled in as support, so maybe we'll see some more from that flank. Meanwhile, we got a fight going in the Gulf jungle. Mostly light infantry and transports chasing each other through the forest.
Oh, SPW-80 is coming in to clean out the anti-air.
And there's a bunch of artillery shells coming in to say no to that.
Hold on, just give me 1 second. Did that cheaty just bomb its own vehicle, fire support vehicle for infantry and IFE?
They did, yes.
That is spicy.
Oh man! All right, yeah. I mean, that was. I hope that was a misclick and not an intentional friendly fire incident. But you never know.
Oh my. Looks like got another aircraft airborne. It's a cheetah D again. They might be looking for some helicopters to slap, especially with the shot coming in with a double stack of Mi-8 TVs. But
That is a risky play there. But ooh, just
ju-
drop
the,
some bombs and fly away. Ooh, and those Walk Regiment are getting dunked on by Caspier K car here.
hmm.
Lost the whole unit, and now they got to pull back to get the Proskamichi involved. Another blind fire cheetah D.
Oh, we got USZ coming in from Gotstem. Looks like he's gonna be trying to get that across the river, but it might be a little scary because there's some Rui cats there. Not necessarily far from gun range.
Yeah, that is a risky play. I'm not sure I would have done that without securing the area first, but looks like he's getting away with it.
And he's gotten away with his shenanigans.
I think the Ruri cats are occupied by special forces in the forest here. Oh, and a MiG-29 is going to get dunked on by a Carver. Oh, you hate to see it.
Hmm. Oh, we got a big push happening out of Echo now. All eyes on Echo. We got an attempt
All
on
right.
the life of Bravo. We're starting to see some stormers coming in, scaring off Trout's helicopters here. A
And they
T-88
have
is
some
trying to come
challengers
in.
leading the way.
Yep, a T-88 is trying to come in and save the day. But the
Looks like the Gotts is pulling in some BMPTs.
it's now a
I'm not sure that those are standing.
Yep, it is now a
Oh,
desperate scramble.
oh, and they lost another Cheetah D. T-88 has been able to slow down the flank push, but
So let's
will
look
they
at
buy enough time?
let's look at things from Sean's perspective. We don't have a lot of recon out here to really spot things, so they can only see what the seed is engaging them in and what the aircraft detection is allowing. Besides their Fusiliers. But the T-88, giving away its position, allows itself to be relatively spotted and counter-engaged by the Challenger once.
Ooh, and oh man, South African Air has been really punished by their attempts to start bombing their way through here. They lost 4 planes in the past minute. That's got to be a painful loss.
And so
Oh,
we see a Alpha over here with a Buratino, alone and unescorted.
that is an interesting decision. Though I'm sure they weren't planning on this being the case, but as they say, no plan of battle survived contact with the enemy.
Yeah, and it looks like Gotz's Mr. S is engaging these artillery, anti-air units with its artillery. Um, just crushing the defensive position, panicking units.
I, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't keep pushing. That might have been their best move here
Oh
because
lord,
at this point now,
oh lord, look at it! Look at the fucking burrito! It is ready to go!
oh
Oh,
man, oh,
oh, and it's going!
oh,
Oh,
it's
and the
going,
missiles are out! The missiles are out! Holy shit! Oh, stunned and on fire! Oh shit! And Gotten's coming with the Mi-24Ds. Even the 24Ds can't handle this much fucking smoke. God damn!
and the carvers are coming in to bully those helicopters, but they are not having success, and they're being forced to pull out.
And even the DHS Mi-24Ps are coming in for a little bit of the heat. And now with that Bertino destroyed destroyed the Stormer, and now the helicopters are pouring in. The BMPTs are coming in as a fast response, trying to keep the Challengers suppressed. Oh, and they are facing all sorts of issues. Fire computer reset, stabilization malfunction, lost track. Oh, what a day! What a day to be caught in a Bertino strike, and no fuel.
Yeah, I mean,
And the Challenger 1 Mark 1s have met their match. Their fuel tanks.
oh, you hate when your tanks run out of freedom juice just when you're about to make an epic push. And this is where I think they probably shouldn't have burned those Urals that they captured, because they could really use some go juice right about now.
I love the BMPT, but it really has its limits against tanks. But we're seeing... what is this? The 30 mils are coming in? What? By exposing the side armor? The grenade launchers are out, and the BMPTs are a match? Excuse
For the
me?
challengers.
Match for the challengers? Okay, and it looks like Inverted and Gots have finally tapped out. What?
Oh man,
What is this bulliness I am seeing?
it's like they're demanding lunch money from this poor challenger here.
Hey, Martins, you got that lunch money, eh? Look at that fuel leak. Oh, God. And it's just burning fuel. It's almost out of fuel. This is just straight up. This is a war crime. I've never seen such bullying in my life. Oh my
I think the
god.
T-80's coming in to just put the poor Challenger out of its misery.
Good lord.
The disrespect.
Oh god. That was terrible. Absolutely devastating. Look at this carnage. 30 10 AG rockets leaving fire in its wake. Cleaned out by BMPTs and a T-80 and a bunch of helicopters.
And this, kids, is why you make sure your tanks are properly fueled before you do a push. Because, I mean, if they had managed to keep pushing instead of running out of gas, they probably would have gotten into Bravo. And that could have done some damage, but you see what happened. They just got stuck and annihilated.
Well, I think Sean realized he sort of needed some more fuel to keep pushing, and there was too much resistance happening in Bravo, and just the Bertino happening in the right place at the right time. And the Bertino drove back all the way to the fob, and got more rockets, because you know what? You don't need a supply truck wherever you go. Sometimes you just go back to the fob. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, if you're an artillery piece, might as well, right?
Well, when you're an artillery piece that carries as much ammo as the Bertino, you might as well. Axiom coming out here with bangs out with a quad stack of T-80As. A questionable investment, but it's certainly a scary one. Meanwhile,
It is.
so it looks like I think Axiom has inherited Gott's BMPTs.
All right.
And looks like using the BMPTs as tank bait, essentially, forcing the draw fire, but having the armor to stick it out and fight.
Yeah.
T-64B is just strolling into Echo, but
And they're getting punished.
I think it was one of those. I put it down here, but it spawned somewhere I didn't expect it to be, sort of thing. Moment.
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, you don't generally do offensive moves down the road, but and the Stormers are going to start doing some work here, trying to stop the bleeding a little bit with the revolt. But it looks like Red 4's in a pretty strong position here.
Coming back to golf for a moment. Things are looking pretty comfortable for Godsdam. Not perfect, but relatively speaking, comfortable.
Yep.
Let's see. We got a quad stack of Walk Regiment engaging a bunch of infantry just next to hotel. This would be a good time for those bombers to come in. Speaking of it, and
Here
the cheetahs will come. Here we go.
The Walk Regiment are splitting up now.
Oh,
Disappointing. Oh, is that an 8-ball MiG? No, that's just a bully MiG. They're coming to bully that Beta 90. Oof. That's one hit. Oh, and a Carver's gonna say no to that.
a bird hero strike hits a town, but leaving some questionable choices as to what did they effectively hit. But it certainly gives some pause for Inverted to think about life choices, as the Super Dragons are just watching the town that they're in around them burn.
That can't be a good time for those poor boys.
Oh no.
Got some Stoots trooping, just chilling in the woods, dangerously close to a T-80A.
Navy Tuna doing another blind strike in Gulf, hoping to hit something, but I just don't think the 10 HE bombs have enough radius to really merit those sort of cheese strikes.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's a good move here. I mean, it hasn't worked out that well, and it's cost Tuna a lot of planes.
Yeah, and I would say that there's definitely a lot of runs that could have been used elsewhere for something that's more reliable. But don't get me wrong, of anybody that I know, I love G strikes a lot, especially with cluster artillery, high HE bombs. But a 10 HE laser guided semi laser guided bomb, I would say, um,
Yeah.
they only get two of, just won't be enough to pop a tank.
No. Looks like there were two companies of infantry that happened to be driving through Echo, and they got ambushed and annihilated. Oh, and those
Oh,
were in DMP3s.
that's a rough
That's
loss.
painful.
That is rough.
Now the Buratino's going back to the fob.
You know, I can
Need to do
respect
some.
that. I
Yeah.
can respect that. It keeps the fob out of one area in a way while still getting it to get some supplies.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're traversing along different sides of the map, bring it back to the fob. If you're not sure where you should send it, is not the worst idea.
Yeah. And besides, I think they may need to commit some more war crimes in the future, and a Buratino will be helpful for that.
Absolutely. Looks like I have some contact over by Foxtrot. Stoots trooping.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
And
Oh, they're gonna. Oh, bullied the Pruskamichi.
and the Frozkonichi got bombed. I will say, the laser guided bombs are good for infantry. Maybe light vehicles with 1 armor or 0 armor.
They are not tank busters.
No, no. I would, in fact, mathematically, I believe that the Cheetah D is the weakest seed plane there is in the game.
Oof. Alright, looks like there's some green jacket getting uncomfortably close to the command in Alpha. They've been hanging on to that. Ooh, ooh. Gonna pop 'em.
Oh, oh yeah.
Sean's been having.
Oh,
Sean's had that in his back pocket for a while, and now let's see if it's about to pay off.
oh, it's spotted.
Oh,
It's spotted, but he's got to
Oh.
turn on the weapons. Come on, shot. Turn on the weapons. Turn on the weapons.
turn on the weapons before those DMP3 show
And
up.
there it is. And clean.
Ooh.
And
Ooh.
pop goes the
Ooh.
command, giving Red Storm a +2.
That is a painful loss.
Sometimes the snipe you need isn't always the spawn. Sometimes it's the +2 zones.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I saw Sean hold on to that green jacket in his pocket for a while, and it's interesting to see that he's finally played
Oh,
it.
the cheese strike just costed Navy Tuna a Cheetah D.
Oh. Ooh.
Meanwhile, it looks like a Tor still is getting away firing missiles without much impunity. Another missile
And
out.
cheesing those poor cheetahs and carvers. Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh.
Carver shot down. Tor is
Carver
having none of
shot
it.
down.
Oh, another Cheetah C shot down.
That Tor has been having a field day, but there are some feet waffle coming in on him.
Oh, we got another big tank push coming in straight towards Alpha out of
Oh,
Echo.
boy. Oh, that's a meaty push right there.
All right, looks like
they
we're seeing a
still
tank
got
battle.
little bit of goji.
Yep, they're running straight into T-72BU with 4 T-80As. The challengers are
And
trying
the
to
first
fire on
shot
the
of
BU.
missiles deletes the tank.
Second wave of missiles going in, deleting the Challenger 1 Mark III.
Ooh. And it looks like the Challenger 1s are not engaging that BU.
Next wave of missiles nearly kills another Challenger 1 Mark I. Mi-24D is coming in. Stormer is retaliating. Oh, and the BU gets the Challenger. Cheetah D trying to kill that BU, but it laughs it off. It took 2 10 HE bombs to the front, and it's calm as a cucumber.
And the Stormers are down. That is a lot of heavy tanks to lose.
BMPT cleaning up these IFVs. Ooh, and a BMPT not far away from some Warrior Milans.
Oh. Oh man, this is
And all the tanks on the defensive of Axiom survived. Every single T-80A and the BU all survived. The T-80As need some
yeah.
repairs, but the T-80, the T-72BU is still combat capable.
That's a pretty big move here, and be able to translate that into offensive punch here. As Red Storm has started to take the lead again.
Oh, MPT having a field day against some of these AMXs. It's
Ooh.
it's not even a challenge. It's just slaughter.
No, this could be a war crime. I'm just saying.
Looks like Sean's pushing in some Fusiliers.
I think they've had enough of the BMPT.
Oh, they finally scrapped the BMPT with those high power AT rock RPGs. So well done
Yeah,
to the Fusiliers for finally taking it out.
yeah, Fusiliers aren't really a good matchup against the BMPT, but they did the job.
Well, with a 24 RPG, I believe, 24 AP RPG, it is just enough, I think.
Yeah, it got the job done, and in the
Oh,
at the end of the day, that's all
20
that really matters.
22 AP, but still decent.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
Green Jacket are still a menace, coming for another command vehicle in Alpha.
oh, here we go. Can it be done?
Now this time
They misses the law, and there's two M25s coming in, and that is them out. Axiom taps out, giving Trout the next wave of units for the next 10 minutes. And it is,
oh boy.
and looks like Red Storm has the lead, or at least the point lead. But
Yeah,
we're
and they're about to extend it because some Furring Troop are going to get dunked on by Stu Squabble.
We see some cheated E's flying in now. Let's see. Let's see how things go. No anti-air over by Gulf. The tour that was over by Charlie is tapped out of anti-air. And the supply vehicle that's over by Gulf is nowhere in reach of the tour.
But there are some interceptors coming in.
Oh,
Pop
yes.
one missile. Pop another missile. Well, not enough to take it down. Ooh, but here comes some more interceptors.
Ah, yes. Now that's the power of teammates giving you units.
Yep. Although at this point, it's going to be a very tight game. There's 8 minutes left, and the teams are about even on points.
And a
So
plus...
the Red Storm
Red Storm with a plus
rapidly
3.
catching up.
Yep. Oh,
Yeah,
oh, Christ.
it's going to be difficult to pull to regain the advantage here. But there are a couple of places where Red Storm's lines are just thin enough that they've got a decent shot.
Oh, we got Challenger 1 Mark 1s engaging over by Charlie again. T-80As firing off missiles. Getting a firing computer reset score on a critical hit on the Challenger 1 Mark 1. T-89 engaging.
And in Gulf, it looks like there's a bunch of helicopters pushing in to clear them out of, clear the Red Storm out of Gulf.
Indeed. So we see a Commandant in Gulf really trying to hold its own. Firing on one of the helicopters, killing it. Fortunately, not crashing on it. But we see some Tuscanichi getting unloaded to the forest by Gulf.
And those Ruri caps are no joke. Looks like they're going to try and stop this little offensive before it gets out of hand.
Bertino just missing the mark, but allowing the line of sight to break.
All right. Looks like Red 4 has stabilized the point lead, but now they do have a deficit to make up. Well, let's see if they can do it. Got some Prudgamichi fighting a Roy Volk and some Roy Cap.
The HSM 24B getting one hit on the Cheetah D, telling it to stay out for the rest of the match.
Got some Castier K cars moving in. What the hell? That is an interesting decision. Ooh. It looks like they're packing in some heavy assets to re-neutralize Gulf here. With a Chieftain Mark 10 coming in.
Looks like we're seeing a sort of full mobilization now. Trout is in command of all the units on the field, and everything is starting to move.
Yeah, I mean, Trout's got to make up a big chunk of points, and can't really micro effectively, given that they're controlling the entire front by themselves now. So we'll see if this little offensive pulls off, because if it does, it'll put them back into a position to win, but it's going to be tough. Got some napalm bombers coming in for that Chieftain D, and not making the mark. And Red Storm is bleeding points again.
Oh, it looks like Trout's pulling in a command to go into Echo into town. Especially after potentially deleting some of these Fusiliers. They take out the 89, right, but they do not care. Trout does not care about what they lose right now. They're just taking all the assets he's been given and pushing.
And that aggression should be helpful here, because that Roy Volk is going to run out of missiles at some point.
But it is paying off. We're seeing some intermittent amount of +1 coming in, but we see Foxtrot being countercapped with a Commandant. Really thin over there. And we see Gulf with a single command tank. They are really thin on both flanks.
Yeah, it is going to come down to the wire here. As
Navy Tuna taps out, giving more units.
Out.
Yep.
Oh boy. This could be the nail in the coffin for Red 4 here. But oh, that's a lot of Heinz rolling in.
Oh, the command chieftain being spotted.
It looks like they're going to stay and fight.
Oh, and that eliminates the lead for Red Storm.
Alright.
You got some planes coming in from Trout.
Oh, and they're panic buying Stormers now.
But will it be enough? Less than 3 minutes left on the clock. There's a 30-point lead for Red Storm. Oh,
if those helicopters can nuke that Commandant, they could be in a pretty good position here to
the Stormer's not stopping. The Mi-24's rolling in.
Ooh, you hate to see it. Oh, those Heinz are having a field day.
And that is the command.
All right.
Can Red
the Red 4, isn't it?
Red Storm trying to get another command in for a Chieftain Mark 10. It's got a ways to drive.
got a ways to drive, but those Hinds have been dealt with. Uh, Probably the last we're going to see of the helicopter pushes, but they did some work. And it looks like they're going to keep pushing into golf. And they're probably, if they're smart, they might be able to nuke those commandant there and make the lead even bigger.
We see the salamanders flying in, just looking to shut down any defensive held by Axiom? No, by Sean. 1 minute 30 seconds left.
Oh man, this is going to be a close one.
20 points to close. Oh, we got a DHS M24P in Foxtrot. It's having a gunfight with a commandant and it's panicked. Oh, just ranked up to hardened. Artillery coming in from the Mistas in the back, all the way back here. And they take it out. They take out the commandant.
And they are dangerously close to taking out the commandant and Echo too. This is going to be real close.
Oh Lord. It's a +2 with a 5-point difference lead, 3-point difference to lead.
Yeah, man. Oh,
BMPT killing that Huzarin. Oh, that's spotted, and that is it. That's the +3, and the lead is secured. Oh, that is...
The last-minute plays were immaculate.
Oh, good Lord.
And then a Thermomig is coming in to bomb the poor staff pass in India. Oh, that is cruel.
Oh, that's a +5. And that is GG. Good run.
Ooh.
Now, as it comes down to the points, that means... that means Tiger Muskies win.
Yeah, Tiger Muskies managed to pull that off with a fantastic late game blitz, simultaneously nuking five zones in the last 5 minutes of the game.
That is amazing. Look at Trout's kill score here. Coming in at MVP. Maybe the first person to have scored over 10,000 kills this tournament. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. Holy shit.
Wow. Wow, that was an impressive game all around, and it did last the full hour, which means they were giving it their all here.
Indeed. Like, really, like, good plays from a lot of folks here.
Yeah, I mean, hard fought, good pushes. A lot of big haymaker plays were made here, especially at the end there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Navy Tuna coming in with that South African motorized was just harassing. Harassing the Tiger Muskies, shutting down any like perceived infantry offensives. The bombs just kept harassing the infantry. Wasn't harassing even like non-infantry vehicles, especially tanks. And the Seed kept their radars offline for a while. But and Navy did do a swell job securing air superiority, as Trout was the only player who had brought ASF.
I mean, for the first half of the game, the South African Air Force was practically going unpunished, but I think the losses started to add up towards the end there.
Absolutely. And then, and then to add on to it, Sean was doing pretty good early game, but when his tanks ran out of fuel and were hit by that Baratino from Axiom, that was the end of that offensive. That was the... I wouldn't say the nail in the coffin. There were a few other attempts, but it was just not enough volume of tanks against the quality of armor that he faced. The the BUs really provide that solid wall, even when they were supported by considerably inferior tanks. The T-80As really came through with those ATGM missiles to really rank up that ramp up the damage against those higher end tanks.
A quad stack of T-80As were reliably deleting 2 or 3 chalets, and
Absolutely.
so it was. I mean, that Sean had a pretty good chance with that push to just wipe them off the map, but it wasn't quite enough. And even though they managed to keep fighting, I mean, the strategic withdrawals, the strategic surrenders, I think were a little stronger for the Tiger Muskies. Um,
Hmm.
as I noticed that when they came in, they really actually put those assets to good use, as opposed to, I mean, Sean did okay there, but it looked like, especially towards the end, he was just click, 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 quad stacking tanks and throwing them out. And he lost a lot of stormers to helicopters.
Yeah, yeah, that was they don't have stabilizers, and it might have been that Sean was probably focusing somewhere else on the front line because
No
Sean,
doubt.
Sean was sort of left to hold the bag for the rest of the map, but not being aware of the helicopter rush at the end was detrimental. But I
Yeah,
don't think it was the game breaking, but it certainly played in a lot. Mathematically,
yeah,
it's entirely possible that if those stormers could have stopped those helicopters, it could have turned the match the other way. Um, there's so many things that could have been done by either team to really try to hunker this match heavier in one direction or another. Like Axiom was sending tanks off the entire match in a way where they were getting side shot constantly by Sean's tanks. Um, there was missteps probably taken by inverted, maybe not being aggressive enough in Gulf, really trying to look out for that command.
hmm
But that's the thing. This is all
yeah.
hindsight, I'm saying. It
It's
was a
it's
close.
hindsight. These are minor misplays. These aren't catastrophic screw ups. These are minor misplays in a pretty solidly played game. So
Absolutely. Like, it was solid all around. The armor play, the air plays, especially by Navy, um, the helicopter maneuvers by Trout, the supplemental aspects that GOTS offered, especially with those BMPTs, to keep those challengers suppressed until the T-80A could arrive and basically
yeah,
put down the rest of those challengers. Um,
yeah, yeah.
you know, maybe Axiom could have landed one or two more Buratino strikes to make it a little more decisive, but all in all, a great match, fought to the bitter end with a narrow margin, so slim, less than 25 conquest points. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, it's 394 to 364. So I'm a little miscorrect. So let me correct that. Exactly 30 conquest point difference after a 60-minute match. That is ridiculous. I haven't seen a good match like this since the first match of the second tournament.
Oh yeah, I remember that match.
Yeah. If y'all want another good match like this, go watch the first match of the second tournament that we had. This comes in at same tier. Amazing plays. I love it all around. I hope we see more like this going forward. I love being on the edge of my seat, seeing every match being played up to the bitter end. It's good.
Yeah,
It's great entertainment.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that means the Tiger Muskies are advancing, and yeah,
Yeah. And Red Storm played very well, but now they are knocked out of the tournament. Uh, so we'll go forward and see how the rest of the tournament plays out. We have 3 more matches left on hand, and looking forward to these next big matches.
oh yeah.
All right. Well then, thank you all. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next match.